Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network, where curiosity meets conversation. Get enlightened and have fun. Share the experience with friends, family, and anyone ready for thought-provoking dialogue. You can watch our shows on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, or connect with us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts are also available on Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other major platforms. Be sure to visit our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for past episodes, upcoming shows, and guest scheduling. And to our listeners around the cosmos, welcome. We're glad you're here. Subscribe, follow, and join the community.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good day, everybody, wherever you might be on the spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's The Seance Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Mekix. If this is your first time tuning in, please click like, subscribe, comment, and also don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Today, extraterrestrial presence. Joining us again today, we're joined by Johnny Tesone. Tesone, right?
Yeah.
There we go. I add too many consonants in there when it shouldn't be in there.
It's all good.
Right on. A seasoned geologist with over 30 years of experience leading innovation and problem solving across worlds of business, technology, and geoscience. A Colorado native and graduate of the University of Wyoming, Johnny has spent his career covering the secrets of early Earth and exploring evidence that points to possible repeated extraterrestrial invasion events. Let's welcome back to the seance, Johnny Tesone. Welcome back, brother. It's good to have you back. Oh man, you're welcome. You're welcome. We don't like I haven't really been following the 3-eye atlas thing, but what actually has happened to that thing?
It's securely in our orbit now.
Yeah.
So it swung and hid behind the sun a few weeks back and basically changed colors, but also seemed like it's exhausting more water now. So there's been a number of different discussions, threads that have pointed to some different ways. NASA and those guys have a whole different set of tools. They can see it better than anybody.
Yeah.
They say they're letting out little pieces, and I can see some geometry in the last one they showed. But also it's the interpolation of, is this where science meets the spiritual universe?
Yeah.
And is this where humans have to understand that there's a beacon that was sent for us to resonate with, that we're good, not to harm us, but to resonate, a support for anyhow. That's my personal belief in vibration with it. So I know I'm already unusual, right? So I'm trying to make sense of what it means too. But I think where you and I we wanted to continue this discussion about 3-eye.
Yeah.
The key aspects to me are the physicality of the metal and the water that it has and the structure that it has. So it's an object that is flying through space, coordinated with our orbit and advanced technology, period. So it's not just a comet that broke off another planet and it's just water, and it's actually geared. It's a gear. And I started looking at that, and I look at what I've found on Earth, and I've looked at what I've found on Earth that also matches to Mars and Venus, and how I know the moon was formed. It's very plausible this is the same system, species, whatever, but there's been so many. I'm just saying the plausibility of something traveling like that is not a surprise to me based on how much I've seen in the earth that show me that there's been massive both invasions this way, big ones this way, but also the physics and the geology that is so embedded in our earth and always erupting and always changing this earth's surface with growing the same life that came in. So I think the Three Eye Atlas is one of the biggest stories that is leading to the biggest story. I think you and I were talking about, Paul, the next 5 years, and I think this is just the tip of it. I think this is just the tip of it, with people that are open like you and I to take in what's happening around our world with real episodic changes that we feel and see, both in the news, but also that we understand. Ethiopia just had a volcanic explosion they haven't had in 12,000 years since the Holocene. Are you kidding me? What? I'm like, I just out of nowhere. I didn't hear any seismology reports. I didn't see any alarms like they have all over the U.S.
Yeah.
So here's Ethiopia. Maybe they did, and they just didn't say anything. Dude, but it was spectacular.
Yeah, that's what's weird is I only saw that pictures, not even videos. I just saw pictures on social media, and with all this AI crap going on, I don't know what to believe. I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's no way. That's got to be AI. And I don't see nothing on mainstream media about it.
No. There's certain threads that it seems programmed for certain people or certain groups that, that you only can get access to if you really show the algorithm, you really show your interest in reading it and studying it. Because what I like to study is like all the activity that's coming from real pulses of the volcanoes that show the data, show the pulses of the magnitudes, that have it professionally reported. That is a real, it's not hacked, right? Yeah. It's just boom. And then it's the social medias that are in Alaska, that are in these small towns. Jamaica, we had no idea how bad Jamaica was. Jamaica was horrible, but we didn't even cover it in the US.
Yeah.
As very much. So what I'm saying, I think this 3i is a wonderment to everybody that wants to make what they know about everything. Because the people there's millions and millions of people that have never even heard of 3i Atlas. So they don't know what we're talking about, let alone what it means.
Yeah. They're going, what the heck are they talking about?
But it's fascinating. And like I said, Paul, this is a historic time for humanity with the changes, and being a geologist and writing what I'm writing about, and the ongoing data that I keep finding and mining off the Earth's record, and it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just so propelled to keep talking about it, keep writing about it, and it's almost like a preparation to help people roll into the idea of how we're really connected and how beautiful the world really is, but how universally tied in we are. That points to our own individual sovereignty almost.
Yeah.
Our individual sovereignty that only you can feel if you're ready. You're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big step. That's a big step. But I have the gift that I've seen the science, and now I've felt how it's hit me and what I've seen and what it means. I'm like, I was supposed to see that. I was supposed to see that figure on Google Earth. I was supposed to see that in the clouds a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's this yearning for me to travel to some of these places that have a beckoning to my soul. And it's South America. And it's like South America is like I start finding these things, and it's like Argentina, and there's Peru. There's incredible geology.
Yeah. Chile.
And a big conundrum, not for me, but for archaeologists, is it's past archaeology. It's past 5,000 and 10,000 years. It has nothing to do with made design or architecture. It's not, we touched on this. So it's the technology that is flying around that has created all those great things with its natural processes for a purpose it has within the earth that I'm understanding, that I'm starting to be able to explain with more books and more time analyzing it. But what it comes down to is there's always been a push and a pull of, can quantum physics prove incarnation, the spatialness of quantum entanglement? Is it real? Is it past? Is it future? So I feel like I can reverberate off of 3i Atlas. I can feel the magnitude of I think the importance of it, that's shown everybody that it's taking a pulse of where our consciousness is, right?
Yeah.
Our consciousness, what's the pulse of this? What's the vibration of the earth? Are they still in the dense material world of slave usury and always in want and need and struggling to, you know what I'm saying, Paul? I'm just trying to say that I just feel we have so much in ourselves to understand the big picture.
Yeah.
But we have to be open to the big picture to understand ourselves, because we are so infinite. We are fractal beings. We go, it's just amazing. And
I think we're getting to a turning point. I've been hearing this voice in my head, whether it's from the angels, from the spirits, from whatever, the universe has been telling me, is we are about to witness a repeat. Basically, we're going to see history repeat itself in ways that that mankind has yet to even experience, meaning that we're going to have this awakening and understand where the origins of everything came from. All of these puzzle pieces are all going to come together over the course of the next, definitely less than a decade.
Dude, I'm tracking that with you. I am, because I feel that too, because you feel there's cycles and pulses that we go through, right? You feel that. That's what we're feeling.
Yeah.
That we are experiencing that, and we're coming to both a closing and also a new, right? So all the religions, the Hopis, the Navajos, and all the indigenous, the Mayans, Aztec, all talking about this time, the Hindus, Christians, absolutely. We've all talked about this time, and it's so beautiful now to think about witnessing that. Yeah. Witnessing the miracle of almost like seeing the truth come out, seeing how things really are, right? Understanding, going back to the original understanding of living off the earth, right? And relationships that aren't strained by time and money and traffic and the matrix, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably within the first hour before we recorded this, I saw something. It was a quick warning that somebody sent out there I think it was from the U. I think it originally came from the USGS, but there was something that they're warning from, I think, 3 of the other organizations too, is the Eastern Pacific Rim is under watch right now within the next 72 hours and the next 7 days for some very strong seismic activity.
First off, it's a known belt, right? It's a known active zone, but they are on the uptick all around the world for volume and intensity. So the 8.8 in Russia, that stuff's not made up. You can't fake an earthquake and 10-foot cracks in the earth.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yep. And what was it? I think it's San Andreas that we don't have to worry about. I think it's the Hayward Fault.
I'm not familiar with I haven't studied the Hayward Fault. All I know is there's activity, whatever it's named, they're so complex.
Yeah.
what's around and under the earth and how it's connected with water and some of the early material that I've mapped as part of the early Yellowstone development.
Yeah.
So we're just touching on that, and absolutely the faults and things like that. There's local experts that run with those type of projects and understand that, and we need more of that. We need more of that, but it's when it starts tying things and timing together. But we live in a chain reacted world. It's trillions of fractal processes that are continuing going off energetically, photonically. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we can't even see only 1% of the changes through plants or animals or our own changes. So yeah, Paul, there's a lot to learn about this earth, and I'm just really called to really talk to the people for what I found and tell them what it means, and help them understand that there is such a great and I think very benevolent and loving power that wants the good and has instilled gifts within the human race with special talent that run on a vibe of really what humanity has, because it's such a precious planet and our souls know how precious it is. And together this is how we lockstep the next 1,000 years, the golden age, they call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we move forward, I'm going to bring up your website. For those who are watching, can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But for those who are listening, where can they find you?
Hey, so my website is geovortex.net, and you'll see the best website, I think, ever. The colors, the information.
I'm going to bring that up too, because it's so awesome.
I've laid it out and spent a lot of time and money on it to develop it over the last 5 years. And I developed it because I needed a container of all this stuff. I needed a portal repository of all the things I was gathering in the field and on Google Earth and in the fossil record. So it's assembled as a portal. So I made it a portal for everybody to see what I found.
Yeah.
So as a geologist, you only make money when you're getting paid to find stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Or to avoid stuff. Okay. Find stuff or avoid stuff in the earth. So that covers a lot. So with something like this, it's what is this going to do? What was all this for? So it's invaluable. You can't put a price tag on it because it's so much. So that's why I'm trying to break it out into palatable chunks with the book and my merch, because all the geology findings have made produce all this content.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing that's so new and revolutionary about that. And my books is absolutely going to be stunning and big. My first book, but I got 3 more lined up after that. And so I just invite people to come to the website, check it out. They can leave an email online for me, but the library itself, you're going to get all my books, and I'm offering for the first 1,000, $150 for the whole library. And it's going to be thousands of pages of things you're never going to ever learn anywhere else and read and understand. So it's going all over the world. There's going to be multiple books, but you're gonna have a feeling of knowing what infinity feels like in your heart when you read my stuff. That's the kicker.
So you were honored by Marquis Who's Who as well, right?
Yes, I was.
Wow.
Yes, I was last year.
Same here. Last year, 2024. Yeah.
And this year I was just awarded Corporate Vision's 2025 Nonfiction Author of the Year.
Nice.
So that's a small but important one for me.
Yeah.
The big picture. So I'm growing my presence and opening up the whole findings to everybody.
Yeah. Now with everything that's going on, the stuff that I'm seeing, on what the news wants us to know about, from going all the way back to the Tic Tac stuff to that shoot when that one of those airplanes was shooting at one of these aircraft, and
right.
With all this crazy stuff and 3i Atlas, and then the work that you're doing, what is your opinion on what is in store?
My opinion is, as soon as man and media and egos intervene on the story, the more it changes into what they want you to believe that it is.
Yeah.
So there's pieces of this stuff that get started, and there's pieces that are plausible, right? There's pieces that are plausible for me. So let me just tell you how I view things first. Is, as a scientist, nothing surprises me. Nothing surprises me in the earth, and nothing surprises me with humans.
Yeah.
Okay. So that opens up a lot of high expectations that I'm going to be able to try to understand it and see it all come in. So what I think about that is, it's good that I think it started, but we're still talking about UFOs and people seeing things in the air, and the pilots and the astronauts and seeing stuff like that, going to Mars and going to that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I already found it on Earth. It's here.
Yep.
It's here. It's alive, and it's incredible, and it's all over, and it's super technology, and it's there for us right before our eyes all over the earth. And anybody can see it from the airplane, and anybody can see it on Google Earth. You can see this stuff, and you can see how it formulates if you have that aptitude and time, how it formulates within my book, the transformation of the earth. And it is the bifurcation and the changing of earth. And I've seen the acceleration of time on the surface of the earth, changing the process and changing the actual geomorphology, the change in the surface and how it changed and looks, and a lot of processes and resources that make that up. And with Google Earth, it's such high resolution, and this is so big and it's so redundant. It's addicting. It's addicting. I don't have enough space anymore. I'm like, I don't want to buy another computer. I just need to get an external 5 terabyte drive, just because it's like hundreds of pictures a day. I can't stop because I keep finding new stuff. Boom.
Yeah. Picobyte. There's terabytes that's not even how far you can go now. I forget what it is. A picobyte or something like that. Whoa.
See what I'm saying? So here we are, humans, all this great technology, everything's getting more expensive and busier. Our lives really aren't at any more peace. It shouldn't be. I'm trying to be, but I'm just saying, supply chain, everything is all about another profit for someone else and stuff. So by the time it hits a consumer of news or consumer of food or consumer of this or that, it's already gone through the gamut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, my stuff is coming filtered right through me in the raw pictures and the explanation of stuff that is there.
Yeah.
And the thousands of pictures I have in my first book, you cannot deny your eyes once they start seeing the same stuff over, and they start seeing how I found it. Oh yeah. So people that read it, boom. So it's just this roadmap of the surface and of the microscope that it all came together. And like I said, my stuff is like, I've taken NASA stuff and I've used it in my stuff. NASA should want my stuff. They should want to talk to me. They're going to want to talk to me. I'm not saying that facetiously, but I'm saying I could really help them. I could really help them understand what they're seeing better, both on the images they have and things they've said and correlations. So that's the beauty of what is. I can talk to the NASAs. I don't need to hide anything. I can talk to the government. I'm talking to you. This thing is, there's no more. I have the disclosure. I talk about these guys getting on the camera and they talk about, I was here and I saw this and I was here and I was like, and I'm like, I'm so past that stuff. That's not interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's not interesting to me. The disclosures is what the heck is here?
Yeah.
And how did it get here? and what does it mean? And that's what I'm about, is the hardcore fundamental earth science and the earth developmental inception, the moon. And I'm trying to bring all this together. Now I got a team behind me that's posting some great reels now, and I got traffic going. And basically, I was invited to their home country to look at some of their features that their head scratches to their scientists. And I'm saying, and I've already been looking at it, and I'm saying, yeah, it's repeatable. The pattern's repeatable. I can apply geology all over because I can see the patterns.
Yeah.
You see the Eye of Horus right above you? I found that. I found that. Yeah.
Oh,
I found that.
Whoa.
And I found that 2 weeks ago. I found kings and queens in the rock. Beautiful, perfect faces. Perfect, Paul. It's almost excitingly scary to tell you, because it's like, when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it proves a whole facet with our lives, architecture. It brings in a whole facet of audience. I had no idea that it would almost touch or capture or involve the group or anything about Egypt. Working in South America, working in the Rockies, Egypt wasn't, it's always fascinating, and the pyramids and the development, and I know we didn't make those, or we're the million slaves that did that. That's a whole different phenomenon how those were made, but I'm just saying that there was just a bigger plan to this.
Yeah.
A bigger plan, and that's what I'm saying is I got so much great data. I want somebody to try to argue it against, you know what I'm saying? Because I support those pilots and those astronauts. I support what they see. I don't argue against them. It's just boring that they're always the same and they listen and that. Yeah, I know. Because I see the geology compressing and then flashing. I see it growing and then expanding and blown up over time. And then I see it contracting again and then exploding again. So I see the cycles of what the patterns were. But it also, to me, it explains all the mass extinctions that we've had and the Cambrian explosion. So the work I'm doing explains a lot of the mysteries that traditional geologists have not studied enough, because they're looking for high paying jobs in the oil and gas business, right?
Yeah.
That's just the facts. So that brain trust goes to corporate world. So I had the luxury of working that, but getting out while I was still young enough and could walk the mountains, and curious enough when I started finding things in the hills of Wyoming, I knew there was a lot we didn't know. And that's when my out of body experience that summer. I'm still out of body.
Yeah.
I just really feel that, like I said, I'm just flying. It's just how it is. It's great.
Is there anything in the geological record that just you're like, whoa, what the heck is this? Or that, but has answered some of the questions that we've all been asking?
Here's some of the things I had that's blown me away. So the first few years was about just the rockets and seeing the mechanics and studying that and how they landed and but then it became like starting to see early life, hammerhead sharks, trilobites, dolphins, turtles, crustaceans, lobsters. So I started seeing things like, birds, snakes, so dragons. So yes, the myths and snakes in the religions of snakes and dragons are all over the place. There looks like a real outcrop in China that I've seen a couple of times, and I've studied it, and it looks like a big snake fossil, just huge.
Wow.
So that's plausible to me. Whether or not that picture is exact, it's plausible because I see this stuff so magnificently coming out of the earth, coming out of its form from its matrix, and how it expands over time. So seeing the early gigantic life forms, including humans, is the kicker to me. That's the biggest kicker, is seeing early life, how gigantic it was, and how small we are now. I've come to that realization probably over the last 3 months only, the more I've seen that. And that's a big topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big topic.
Especially when you talk about like the human history. When I had that in my presentation a few weeks ago, I brought a 4 million year scale up timeline, but I only touched on about the first 500,000 years. And I'm like, what we don't know about this, I think, what was it? Like the Hildebrand Genesis, which is supposedly where what Adam and Eve were. And then the manipulation of the DNA, was it TBA? I think TBA1 chromosome or something like that. And then you come the geological record. Like, whoa. Yep.
Not using all of our 12-strand DNA that we all have.
Yeah.
And whatever race, whether it was the Anunnaki or whoever came in and changed the pattern, but try to change and control us with material, it can only work for so long, right? Now we're coming out of that. So the enlightenment and the awareness, the awakening is all that. It is all seeing all that. And I really feel like I'm awakened by seeing this, right?
Yeah.
I'm awakened by awakening the giants in the earth, the sharks and the swordfish I've seen, just beautiful. Skeletons. I'm not talking faint shroud of Turin, foggy stuff. I'm talking perfect skeletons.
Wow.
Perfect heads. And the process that people have no idea how great our earth is, how dynamic. It's amazing.
Oof. Yeah, I think we're definitely in a cycle. And even through this conversation that we just moments ago, it just gave me this other revelation. Like maybe we are potentially looking back through the Enuma Elish, the ancient Sumerian text, that they talk about the Ajiji, that we might be the Ajiji in today's time. But the Anunnaki, because the Anunnaki they're above them when it comes to technology and stuff like that. We might possibly be the Ajiji revisited, and a new era, a new age of enlightenment across the entire universal spectrum is about to happen.
You're right. And that's a personal thing that you feel, right? I'm driven by being an Arcturian. So that's where I'm leaning towards, and I start learning about that, and it starts lining up with me. So there are elements. We are all star seeds. I do believe that. We all came from the stars. We all star seeds, and we all have our own mission. We all have our own mission, and that's the mission of our life, is to find our mission in life. That's the hardest part, but we have to find our soul so free of the trap of doubt and fear of lack and all that stuff. And so you're right. And that embodies a lot of leap of faith.
Yeah. When I talk to some of these doctors too, they look and they go, wait a second. After years of medical school, they have this reflection and they go, wait a second. The human body is not indigenous to Earth. We're not. Our bodies are still getting used to the sunlight, are still getting used to the food, are still getting used to the atmosphere.
You got it. You got it. And we have to understand that. And we will have to adapt to what the earth will bring us.
Yeah.
Meaning the sun and the water and the air, all of the elements. It's all of it. And I think one of your questions, I'm going to go back a little bit, you had asked, I think one of the coolest things that happened to me was realizing how connected we are with animals.
Mm.
In my experience in Wyoming with animals and birds. And I don't think the fish like me because I catch them. I don't keep them and eat them. But it's the bears and it's the deer. I had a beautiful juvenile bear, female bear, come into my camp last July, come into my camp. And I'm like, I'm not going to feed you. And it sat down and started, I'm just here to talk. And it grabbed, Paul, it was the most beautiful, heartwarming thing. And I start thinking, I start reading, the Egyptian pharaohs only could get reincarnated if they came back as a spirit animal.
Yeah.
After 3,000 years, I'm like going, what? So I start reading these little snippets of things. I'm going, here's a bear that wants to talk to me as a human or something. I'm like, and my friends are from there, like, that doesn't happen. I said, that doesn't happen with anybody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm letting the universe bring it all. I'm letting the universe bring it all, and I just love talking to people like you about that are sharp, that get it, that know, that feel it. They feel it too. Oh, that's what's important, man. But it's a better world coming. That's the bottom line. If you want it.
Yeah. Especially if you want it.
Right.
Yeah. With all the distractions that are going on right now, we gotta keep our head clear, and have that intention too, because it's all about the intention. If we keep going down the road where the media is trying to push us towards, that's where we're gonna go. But if we intend on going to a higher elevation and a higher plane, a higher frequency, then that's where we'll go. The collective will take us.
You got it. And I feel I have to have such extreme content that separates me from the anti-intellectual base that the American culture is drowning in.
Yeah.
And so I felt I had to have such voluminous, extreme, vivid data that set me apart, the furthest of the opposite side of that anti-intellectual. See what I'm saying? I had to create such a contrast in my head, also in my findings, where there's no more convincing myself what I found, and there should be no convincing with the world, because I don't have to convince them. I just have to show them.
Yeah.
They just have to want to look, to read. They just have to want to look at the pictures and read my little captions. I don't have a lot of writing in my book. My pictures tell billions of years of stories of years. So so that's the whole thing. But back to the animals, I think it's just fascinating how the ancient ancestors always revered animals, the indigenous revered animals, all of them. And that's why being outside in nature, that's the frequency. That's the frequency. It's not inside and tapped to our computers. It's outside in nature. It's being in water, around the beaches and the sand and your bare feet. And it's as easy as that. It is. But it's hard to implement for people that I think are trapped.
Yeah.
Right. So our job is, I think, to help people understand there's such a great data set of things out there for them to contemplate, that they can understand maybe where they came from. Maybe we could trigger somebody and say, all of a sudden they remember a grandpa or an uncle, or they want to talk to their mom about their relatives. All of a sudden something's going to happen. And then once it starts, it's good.
I think all this technology, especially where we are today, with everybody's got their, especially the younger crowd, everybody's got their face in the phone and on a screen. That is a engineered distraction. That is a made-up distraction. It was engineered. It was planned because they don't want us to look up and they don't want us to look down. They don't want us to pay attention to
Right.
to what's going on around us, because there is a lot of stuff going on around us if we took our face out of our phone.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So to that exact point is I spent a lifetime of helping companies doing logs, producing logs, reading logs of 8 feet of earth. That is a well bore, that's another well bore, and looking at logs that are over and over, millions of dollars spent on that. And all I'm looking at is the rate, and all I'm looking at is the electrical and gamma nuclear responses of an 8,000 or 12,000 or 20,000 foot bore over and over. Try to predict what the hole over to the next is going to be over and over, and try to replicate where to put that drill bit. So the perspective was looking at all these straw holes in a basin over 5 miles or 10 miles or 1 mile. And the geology was trying to build the subsurface with only the data and subject to the interpretation of the geologist to look at those logs to build the contours of the dip and the slope, and got a drill right there. Good luck. But my point is, it's so told to just stay in that world, right? So the corporate world, you've got to be an expert just on that. Boom, because that's what we need you for. When breaking out of that, I don't need any of that anymore, because I have everything on the subsurface to the cosmos now as my library. I don't have to go to a log library. I don't have to go on site and pick logs, correlate these and chop them up and pick zones and all that stuff. It's so much incredibly big and more beautiful. See what I'm saying? So it's like this perspective, because I was used to working in the microscope, but I was not the Google Earth expert that I am, because I was always down on the subsurface and out in the field and looking at wells and drawing maps. And then Google Earth, my ground zero chapters, I started seeing, I was like, oh, this is a big event. This is a big event.
Wow. What do you see happening within the next couple of years, especially next year? I think next year is going to be interesting. We thought this year had a lot of stuff in store for us. Man.
Yes. So I feel, and correct me if you feel, it's this plane getting ready to take off, like this, like it's speeding up, or the vibrations are changing throughout November and this year. Like it started last year for me, I think, with the last election.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going out of the country. I'm checking out. I left the country for a month, went to Argentina. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But I'm just saying, I started feeling that real change and just getting going. And it feels like it's this year, it's ramping up. Yeah. And then I do feel 2026 is a bust out year. Yeah. I think it's a bust out year for the next, I want to say, 100 of years.
Yeah.
I think it's not for the next 5 years. I think what we're seeing is a major change. It's not just a seasonal earthly shift. The rotation of our axis is 26,000 years, for Pete's sakes. So as humans, we only see just a sliver of the moon cycles in our lifetime, let alone the tilt of the earth. They used to say humans lived thousands of years. I've heard hundreds, then I just heard thousands of years. And I'm like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you also mentioned that, like, our bodies are just vessels, right? We're just this vessel here. And
when I told people that it takes over 250 million years in order for our solar system to make one complete cycle around the Milky Way,
that's amazing.
They looked at me like, I'm like, exactly. We are nothing in time compared to everything around us. It makes us feel so insignificant.
And through my work and through my expression and part of my story is, it's like I feel 50, 60, 70, 100 years ain't nothing. We can't do anything.
I know.
That's nothing.
It's not even a blink.
That's a crime against us.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one of my points too. was putting out when it came to the Anunnaki and engineering, and the books of Enki, and how he talks about engineering the human genes,
Right.
the DNA, and changing the DNA and artificially changing our lifespan, because we lived hundreds and hundreds of years. Look at the ancients. Their lifespans were, what the heck was it? Started into the thousands, but if you look at within the biblical record, their lifespan started declining and declining.
Yes.
And declining. They don't want us to remember.
They don't want us to remember that. They don't want us to remember, and people can't believe that, because they were told and programmed, we're here for 80 years. We got to go to make a corporate world. We got to pay our check and our taxes and buy a house. And you know what mortgage means? It means death grip. More godly. It means death grip. Yep. Who wants that? Who wants to pay for that, Paul? No. Anyhow, this is no. So I do think next year is a watershed year. This year is a drip of the 5D faucet, to me. A taste of the 5D honey, of the sweet yellow age honey, has been a taste for me.
Yeah.
I feel that I see things, and I got songs now. I got this song that I'm like, God, I love that group, but I never listened to those words. And this weekend it just hit me. I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's me. So I do feel 2026 is, we're closing out a big cycle here, but next year forward is as far as we can see. Yeah. I think it's as far as we can see, and humans as far as we want to go. But we got to remember our 12-strand DNA. We got to remember breathing, nature, exercising, Tai Chi. Yeah. Stuff that is, our bodies are more important than ever.
I think that's what, and I think that's what's part of it too, is some of this DNA that some of these mainstream scientists have been saying is junk DNA are slowly going to be unlocked. They're going to be opened up and unlocked. And we'll have access to them.
Absolutely. And the sooner the better, right? The sooner the better. But I also understand that, it's not in our time. It's not at our time. Things happen. Yeah, I get all that. We also got to understand that there's a lot going on that's accelerating time that we have no comprehension about time. So time for me has become, I don't want to say completely irrelevant, but irrelevant in my day-to-day programming of how my cycles are. So I'm trying to go back to the moon cycle and just live off, you know what I'm saying, hydrating more. I don't really have an appetite that much for meat anymore.
Me neither.
Don't. Not because it's just happening. It's just happening. This is just what our bodies are going through. That people that are tuned into this, and geology and fly fishing and being an athlete my whole life. I was just raised in it, born into it. Raised into the love of a big family, had loving parents that exposed me to the wonders of the natures and outdoors and education and athletics. So I picked my parents, and I'm here now, and I'm just like, it's just amazing and great to be alive right now.
Yeah.
So that's the greatest thing. I think the gratitude of being is going to be a big conscious shift going into the next. I think people are going to see, God, we have it pretty good here. We have it pretty good. We need to be more grateful to each other, more grateful to what we have. And that's going to be hard for some people, but it's not just during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's all the time.
It's all the time.
Yeah. Yep. It's got to be inherent.
That's all good stuff. And so we all try to lead by example, the leaders out there. You have to.
Yeah.
So I feel like that. There's no good geology records anywhere other than the libraries and the log libraries and the papers about oil and gas drilling in the basins and technology. Yeah. There's not, and that's like my mission. It's like, there's so much, someone needs to do it. Might as well be me.
Yeah. Right? And what sucks too is look how much stuff has been destroyed by certain cultures out there due to conquests throughout history, just destroyed. And it's
exactly.
Yeah.
That's an injustice to me. That's one of the greatest against humanity is
Yeah.
all the great scrolls, the texts, the books, the technology that the Vatican owns, the Illuminati owns, and whoever owns it, whatever big families throughout time own it. That's gotta end. It's our frequencies have to be so strong in a higher dimension that can't affect our lives anymore.
Yeah.
That world can't affect our lives. That's the big jump in 2026 that personally is a huge leap to feel and do, to really be detached,
Yeah.
And, but when you don't expect things or want things, and it's amazing when how you start seeing things and finding great people to talk to.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
Yep. So before we wrap up, again, where can people find you?
GeoVortex.net is my website. At GeoVortex is YouTube channel. I got 30 YouTube channels. I don't have a ton of subscribers. I got 12,000 subscribers on YouTube, but
nice.
My website's one of the best you'll ever see. I got merch. I have some scripts that I've submitted to some producers for some other things down the road. So I got a lot going on. I'm going to have a library of probably upwards of 5 books. And so what I'm saying is I want people to get in on the ground floor, and helping them get on the ground floor. For the 150 membership entry, you'll get all the books, and you'll have more information on this world and extraterrestrials you had no idea about. Now I can tie to the Egyptians and my own incarnation. Yeah. And so I have a lot to talk about and share with the world.
Heck yeah. So before we go, what do you have to offer as a takeaway, words of wisdom for our audience today?
Hey, my takeaway is going to be a free hoodie on my website. So my takeaway, if you go on my website, you do the membership, the 150, send me an email, you pick out whatever hoodie and size you want. I'll ship it anywhere in the US, no charge. And that's my giveaway. And you're gonna love some of those hoodies on there, and find one. But if you don't like hoodies, offer me something else. I just know that's one of the higher priced items for people to want to do that. And I think most people like hoodies, but I do. I think it's a good giveaway. I think it's a good spiff, and I'd love to see people take advantage of it and get reviews for that too, and the membership and the books.
Cool. Johnny, damn. Keep us posted on some developments as we move into the new year.
I will, and I'd love to stay in contact with you, to keep following you and ping you on social media. And when I get some stuff going and feel we need the urge to talk, I'll probably ping you, because I might see something at 3i Atlas that says I need to show you something. So maybe the next one we can do some more interactive, and I can show you some really cool correlations with 3i Atlas and the cosmos with my rocks.
Definitely. And if you have any excursions that you're going to be going on, I've been looking. I might be going on an excursion sometime next year. I don't know when. I was offered something that we're looking at, maybe Central South America.
Nice.
I don't know where. I think it's more central, but looking at maybe the ancient Aztecs or something like that, and going into the geological aspect.
It popped up for me over the last couple of weeks. So it was already Patagonia, Argentina.
Oh, man, Patagonia.
It was already there, but Lima now was where I started finding the Eye of Ra, and I started finding the cool stuff. And it just exploded out of South America, both geologically and Egyptologically and earthwise. Started wrapping in a lot of big stuff for me. And I was like, Lima, Peru is a bucket list now. But there's going to be a huge audience in Lima, because the stuff I found is just outside of Lima.
Wow.
So you think the pyramids are cool. Wait till you see these. So I would love to hear where you're going. If we're ever in the same city or wanted to plan something, do a dual talk or something.
Yeah.
I'm interested in all that, because that's where I'm going. TEDx is one thing, but I'm going to TED. I'm going places. That's just where it's going. I'm going to be talking all over the place. book events. I think I got 10 book events next year.
Sweet. Let me know if you're in the Orlando area.
Okay.
Look up, have some
Okay.
coffee and snacks.
I will let you know for sure.
Awesome. Cool.
Awesome.
Johnny, blessings, my friend.
Hey, Paul, thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
It was a great show again. I appreciate your involvement in this. It's great. So thank you. Have a great weekend.
You do the same, my friend. You do the same. And everybody, thank you for watching The Seance on Conscious Radio Network. Until next time, we'll see you then.